All right, so we got the hide off of this backside, and again, we already did the other side, so this hide now is completely free, and the animal's just laying on the hide. But I'll usually go ahead and start when I want to get this hind quarter off. You can feel there's a bone here, and you got the point of the bone, and it comes around, feel the bone, and then you got the spine. So I usually come down and just follow that bone to start, because then as I'm going through from the other side, I can actually feel it.
What angle is your knife at there? It's going down against the bone,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. You can literally feel it right here. I mean, there's nothing on it. So you can literally feel that bone. That's just white bone right there. So I'm just coming in and just freeing up that and cutting around this point. There you go. Because then when you come through the other side, it just makes it a little easier. I don't know, that's just me.
That's what I do too. Freeze it up when you're coming from the other side. It comes off easy.
Cool, all right. Lonnie, lift that leg if you would.
Chris, in that situation, if you don't have someone to help you, do you then tie that leg over here to this tree?
Here, actually let it down, Monty, and I'll show you. Yeah, if you've got 550 cord, that'll work. When I'm doing it by myself, here, let me trade you places here, Monty. When I'm doing it by myself, it's literally just using the body weight of the animal against himself and just kind of resting it. And that's also why I leave this part of the leg on, because I can grab it, I can hold it, I can do whatever I want with it, and it helps hold it a little bit better. But when you do have someone that you can lean on. Now, here's something important. Actually, oops, I'm sorry. Monty, go ahead and pull that back. Here's one thing to be careful. You can see right here on this other side. When you get in on the inside part of this hind quarter, be careful, because the pelvis is not complete through there, and there are holes, and so you can literally poke through the intestine. So when you're coming in here, like that, that's the inside of that fat. Just be very gentle when you start cutting through, because you can end up going through. Where's that?
And just to be clear, what is that right there?
This?
Yes.
That's his penis.
Okay.
And I just basically I'll cut around that and just flip it back out of here, just get it out of the way.
When you get to that point, you want to go with your knife on the side of it.
All right. Here's a huge clarification. Arizona does not require evidence of sex on the hind quarter, okay? Colorado does. So if you're at this stage, at one of these quarters, you need to cut, or if your state requires evidence of sex, one of these quarters, what I will do is I will cut up the back side of the leg, and I will cut up the front side of the leg, and I will cut in here, and I will leave this patch of hide with his, essentially, testicle sac. Get rid of the testicles themselves. You don't need to carry them out, but the sac, I will take that out and leave that on. So that's why you don't see evidence of sex here, because we don't need to leave that in Arizona. Now, here you go, right there. That's intestines right there, okay? So you got to be careful when you're cutting through here that you don't go all the way through and poke a hole in the intestine, okay? And if you have somebody pulling like this, there, see? There's intestine right there. So again, I mean, it's sensitive. You just got to be careful. If you'll feel up, okay, you'll hear that you'll have this bone here. If you feel, it'll kind of go around. That's where the ball and socket is for the hip. So if you follow that around, that's where you get in here. Boom. You can cut that ball. There it is. Now his whole leg is kind of free. This is going to be a little tricky because it's going to blood everywhere. It's going to make it messy, but just gently coming down along the abdomen wall. Yeah, it's going to be bloody, so it might not come out well, but all right. So let me come back here. You can see this is all bone, so we're just going to flay back off that. There you go. Nice.
You hear it popping.
Keep pulling. Yep, that's exactly what you want. There you go. See, it's pulling right away from that bone.
Do I want the bag to lay down underneath it again, Chris?
Yeah, if you want to.
Behind you, there's a purple up above you.
All right, there we go. Come on, baby.
So now since you made your cut on the back side, it's going to pop off once you get through there.
Well, it'll be a little bit easier to see. Let me switch it there, Monty. It'll be a little easier to see where that cut is. Go ahead and pick that baby up and pull it right back. Yep, just like that, and pull it back that way. You can feel there's the point of the hip bone right there. Just come right in front of that. Or behind it, actually, I should say. Scoop in and get as much meat as possible. There we go. Just follow that bone. Boom. There you go, Jake.
Now are you connected to your other cut?
Not yet, but it will be here soon.
So you're just following that bone.
Yep.
Flaying it.
Just flaying it right now. We're see how with that cut before?
Yeah.
Just peels right off. That makes it a lot easier to come off when you get down to this point. Boom. Back hind quarter is off. All right, hind quarter off. At this point, all I'm doing is just getting the mane. This is up around his, starting to get up around his neck. I just went up again. I try to stay with the thin hide. Underneath here is a lot thinner than on the top, and it just frees up a little bit easier. So I'm just going up through, following that esophagus up, and just cutting only because I want to be able to flay this hide back and get to the neck meat. But before we get that, we got to get the front shoulder off, and I need to free this whole thing up. Get the front shoulder. I usually do the hind quarter, then the front quarter, then the back straps, because the back straps are actually going to bury themselves back up under here, and it's going to be underneath your front quarter. So if someone starts pulling that back strap off and you don't have your front quarter off yet, you will be cutting your back strap prematurely. You'll be losing some good back strap. There you go. You can see where we went through before. Yeah, I just want to open this up. Some of this stuff I don't care. And always, if you do have to cut through hair, always come from the inside out. So you're not cutting through the hair follicle, you're actually cutting along it and with it. And just be careful when you're cutting around your leg. All right, now the front shoulder is pretty clear. This is all gonna be burger meat, so we can hack this here in a second, but you've got your whole front shoulder now completely free and clear. So Monty, if you will, pick that up. Now, and again, if I'm doing this by myself, I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm just gonna throw my hip underneath it and prop it up, and just like that. Yep, just like that. So I'm gonna come down here. This is your brisket here. We'll cut that out separately, but I'm gonna come down here, and I just try to grab as much meat as possible. The processor can pull out what they want. Keep pulling. And what some people do not realize, especially if you're doing this the first time, there are no joints. Here, Jay, come right around here. There is no joint in here. There's no ball and socket. There's no hinge joint, nothing. It's all attached by muscle. The entire shoulder is attached. Go ahead and keep pulling, Monty. Lift that baby right out. Is attached by muscle. So just cut right through that muscle, and it'll come right out. Keep going. Boom, done. There's your front quarter. Nice. And you know, obviously a bunch of this stuff is just all going to be burger meat, but save it. I mean, it's good meat. The processor will process it and just grind it up. So, good deal. Prop that bad boy up there.
Go ahead.
All right. The other thing too is sometimes if you know, obviously his front shoulder was here, his leg was here. if you have like a broadside shot and you get a heart shot, or you get a double lung shot and it's up in the front part of the lung, sometimes this will just be all bloodshot and nasty. It's up to you. I mean, try to take as much as you can. It's going to be good meat. In this case, the exit wound came out back, so I mean, all of this brisket, all of this flank meat is good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, and it's good burger meat, so take it. Take it with you. So there's the other half of the brisket. I'm going to come in here, get rid of some of this just connective tissue. We don't need it. Ugh, barn, make a snot ball. And I mean, I will take it up, come right down along the ribs.
That's the rib roll, right?
I don't know what I mean, some people call it the rib roll. I don't know. I just cut it off. Yeah.
Great meat.
I heard some people, you know, because what is it with the rib roll? What do they do? Make it a roast or something like that? Yeah. Tie it, or do they just?
I'm not sure.
I guess we are remiss for not following up with that, but no, I mean, just
great meat there. Look at that. Some people don't even take it.
No, it's you're talking about, well,
couple meals right there.
Yeah. Actually, I'll bet you when you start going through the whole thing, I will bet you'll get at least 20 pounds, if not more, of miscellaneous meat like this off your carcass. I mean, I can even take some of this even back further if you wanted to, but I mean, then we're getting close to that hemorrhage there. But I'll get more of this neck meat here in a minute once we get the back straps off. I want to try to get as much of the big stuff off as possible. So, all right, back.